Jim Rushford hitting us in his first 11 Major League at-bats. We've told you it's been quite a journey in arriving here in the Major Leagues and quite a story. With the fine movie that was recently released out in the video stores, The Rookie, you see some similarities in the road traveled by Rushford. The 1-2 pitch to the left-handed stick is a ground ball in the middle of the diamond. It's backhanded by Walker. He throws and Rushford reaches. Is that hit number one?
I think they're going to give him the hit.
I think you've got to give him the hit.
Of course, he doesn't want to get it like that.
That is a base hit. And his first in the major leagues. What a journey it was for Rushford. And they will toss that baseball out. That's what you call a keepsake around these parts.
Yeah.
Jim, thank you so much for coming over tonight. And we're really excited to talk to you. Thank you for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Aaron. I'm excited.
Now, I was telling you before, you're the first major leaguer I've had on the show, and this is perfect because we're amidst the World Series. The Dodgers are in the World Series, and we need some insight from a real major leaguer. But let's get into your career. 14 years in the minors, and as you say it, a cup of coffee in the majors. What are we talking? Are we talking like Bente or tall? Like what kind of cup was it like?
An espresso.
It was a
quick shot. Yeah. It was a September call-up in 2002. 27 days of major league service. I think I played in 22 games, so I was fortunate that they played me the whole time. And it was like a whirlwind, and it came and it went, and it was over.
So how did you get your shot? How did you get your espresso?
Well, a lot of work and a lot of luck. I was undrafted out of San Diego State, and I actually just quit baseball and started working. But I was making minimum wage, and I said, well, I might as well go play some baseball. And I found out about independent leagues, which I didn't really know anything about. So I started. It's professional leagues, but they're not affiliated with any major league team. So it's sort of like the equivalent of going to Europe to play basketball or playing in the Canadian Football League, like something along those lines.
Right. What was the name of the team in the independent league?
This was the Du Bois County Dragons.
What a name. The Du Bois County Dragons. What state's that in?
So that's in southern Indiana,
Okay.
almost down to Kentucky. And it was called the Heartland League, which only ran for maybe a year or two. It was a 4-team league. This was kind of like the lowest of the minor leagues. Like this is
very intro level minors.
Yeah, but it was 1996, and I signed a contract for $500, and I was a professional baseball player. Wow. And I was just super excited.
I can relate, man. That sounds like when you get your first commercial as an actor. You get like 5, and you're like, I'm in. I'm in the independent. I'm a Du Bois County Dragon. Is there anyone, for your knowledge of this independent Heartland League, that ever made it to the majors other than you?
I don't think so.
You're the guy. You're the dude who made it.
I mean, the stadium we played in was a stadium they used in a league of their own.
No way.
So, it's supposed to be the Rockford Peaches, but the stadium was in southern Indiana. So they made it real old school, like, 1950s style.
Yeah.
And, it was the only thing, it was a town of Huntingburg and Jasper. So it's like one town's got like 10,000, one town's got like 5,000. And, the biggest thing to do is go to the baseball game. So
right.
They have the stands. Talking about the movies, Bull Durham is really accurate.
Really?
That's why of all the baseball movies, it's my favorite, because the stuff that goes on in there is just really true to life of what goes on in the minor leagues and the how life is in the minors.
That's wild. So that year you're with Milwaukee. At what point do you think you're coming up?
So in 2001, my first year with them, I had the highest batting average in the minor leagues. It was a combined 354 average. So I thought, well, they're gonna. I should be on their radar now, because initially I was just a filler player. My Du Bois County Dragons coach had went on to go work with the Brewers, And the Brewers were cleaning house, and he's like, I think I can get you in. So they just got this old guy that could be a good role model for the young kids at their single-A team.
Bull Durham, man, right? You're Kevin Costner.
I was kind of like Crash Davis in that regard, and but I was tearing it up. So they're just like, okay, go to Double-A. And then, I finished so strong, but I didn't even get a big league invite to spring training the next year. So I was just going for Triple-A, and in Triple-A I did really well, and I was a team MVP and put up good numbers. So the Brewers were on pace to lose 100 games that year. This was 2002. Davey Lopes was fired mid-season, and Jerry Royster took over as interim manager. And all the prospects in the organization were doing crappy. And on top of that, they had two major injuries that year. Alex Sanchez fractured a tibia or something, and Jeff Jenkins busted his ankle real bad the last week of the season, sliding in the home. And, that just opened up a spot for me. But, if it wasn't for, the stars had to align.
What does it just feel like to be, though, in the big league clubhouse?
You'd expect someone to be like, well, it was the greatest thing in the world, because I went from being totally giving up on baseball and just working regular jobs and delivering pizzas to the major leagues. But, honestly, I was terrified the whole time. I barely enjoyed any of it because I just kept going. I just needed to, start hitting, improve myself, and then, once I'm in, then I can, start enjoying myself. But other than one big game that I had, that didn't really ever happen. So
Friday, September 13th. Deep into right and gone. A home run for Rushford, his first in the bigs, and the Brewers lead 5-4.
You hit one over the wall.
Yeah.
You got one dinger. That's that's a storybook sort of thing to have for oneself. You make it to the big league, and you got one over. Do you remember the team? Tell me about hitting a home run in the major leagues.
I remember everything. So, Friday the 13th.
Really?
September 13th, 2002. We were away. We were playing in Arizona, and Rick Helling was pitching, who had been, the World Series winner the year before.
Oh, yeah.
And the D-backs they're in the hunt for another playoff run. We were out of it, of course. And, I got to 2-2, and I fouled off, or as they say, spoiled a number of pitches. Kind of, trying to get me on something tough, and I just kept fouling him off. And then, he threw my pitch, just hung a curveball down and in, and I just dropped the barrel on it, and, it leaves the bat, and I knew I made the contact and had the distance, but I pulled it right down the line.
Really?
And it's ever so slightly hooking. I'm like, is it going to stay fair? So, I'm running down the line, watching, and right about as I'm getting to first base, it hits the foul pole and ricochets into the bullpen. And, I see the umpire, signal home run. It was like I felt the weight of the world come off my shoulders. I'm like, all the trials and tribulations, all the hard work and disappointments, all the physical and mental energy and emotional energy. And I'm like, it was all for that one, 20-second trip around the bases, but it made it all worth it, And
Wow.
I still to this day, I think, what if it just hooked a little more and went foul, and then, the next pitch I pop out or something, it, really changed my life, and it was, this close to not happening,
Wow.
So I'm really grateful for that. It really made it all worth it.
You had the weight off your shoulders, you said.
Yeah.
But you're pitching as the Diamondbacks. Am I mistaken to think that Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling are there at that point?
Yeah, so that was a Friday night game, and then Saturday, Kurt Schilling started. And I'm taking BP, and, I they have no scouting reports on me. I'm a nobody, but I had just taken it to the D-backs. And Kurt Schilling was a guy, I mean, if you're a baseball fan, he used to, after every inning, he'd go back to the dugout and write in his notebook how he pitched every hitter. And, he's meticulous. And so I realized while I'm hitting, he just meanders over behind the batting cage and he just strikes up a random conversation with somebody. But I know the whole time he's just watching my swing, trying to figure out, where there might be a weakness that he can exploit that night. And I think I was 0 for 2 off of him, but I walked. And that particular year, he had like a minuscule ERA. He was in line to maybe get a Cy Young, and he actually had less walks and like home runs given up, like some incredible statistic where he hadn't walked anybody, and he walked me, and he was just cussing a storm
Really?
all the way to first base, man. He was so pissed off, and I kind of just like a guy who might be a future Hall of Famer.
Sure.
I got under his skin.
Wow.
The next day, Randy Johnson pitched, and
So I had a feeling this was happening, right?
Yeah.
So Friday, you have the huge day. You hit the home run. You go 3-4, 3 RBIs. The next day, you get the walk on Schilling. God bless. Like, you got on base against a legend. And then you face, I think, the scariest pitcher ever.
Right.
I grew up a Seattle Mariners fan. What is Randy like? He's almost 7 feet tall. He's menacing with the mullet. Like,
they sat me that day, though.
No, you didn't get to pitch. You didn't get to hit against Randy.
So I was really relieved because, but at the same time, it would have been as a novelty to be able to say, I bet off Randy Johnson.
You talk about this home run, and all I can think about is I love Field of Dreams. Do you tear up when you watch Field of Dreams?
Yeah, I can't make it.
I do. Honest to God. Moonlight Graham, right? He finally gets to go play. And that's a true story. That's the crazy thing about the Burt Lancaster character. I mean, aside from the whole ghost part, was that this guy was real and got to the majors and I think he didn't get to hit.
I definitely associate with that character a lot because that's how it felt for me. And, I came across like a quote that he's had in the movie just a few days ago where he was basically, he goes, at the time, I thought there would be other days. I didn't know that was going to be the only day, and that's a little bit how it felt. Like I just kept going, well, I didn't stop to enjoy it because I'm like, I just need to prove myself because then I'll be back, from here on out. Right. And then I can enjoy it. But it had never happened, even though I did very well in AAA many other times. I just, the stars didn't align.
The work you put in and going from, delivering pizzas and getting to the major league and all the minor work and all the independent to get that home run, the validation when you're up there. When you're up there in heaven, you're going to play for the Nantucket 9 Lives. There'll be some COD League where you get to play by the ocean, the Nantucket 9 Lives. I'm telling you, man, that's incredible. And it's inspiring for people. I heard a rumor that, are you writing a book?
So, yeah, I basically wrote 99% of the book. I'm working with an author. Andrew Martin. He's a baseball historian and a blogger. And, he's published a number of his own books. Most of it's my writing, but he's helping me edit.
Great to have a historian author helping you out. That's incredible.
Yeah, and he'll help me get it published, it will just be like a, Amazon Kindle type of thing, like probably a $5 download or something, like nothing fancy. We don't have a title or anything yet. And I got a little busy and burnt out.
Got you on that title. 9 innings, 9 lives. Rushford story. It's yours, my friend. We wish you and the family the best down there in Arizona, and thank you again. And hey, 9 innings, 9 lives. We can't wait for it to be on Kindle.
Oh yeah, I'll let you know as soon as I get it done. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you, man. Jim Rushford, everybody. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate you. Have a great evening.
Thanks, Aaron. You too.
Cheers, mate.